69 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. A little unlike Jacksonville maybe for this time of year. The 100th or 101st all-time meeting, depending on who you listen to. Georgia has a 54-44-2 advantage, and they've won 4 of the last 5. A couple of years ago is when Florida had their last victory. Florida won the toss and deferred. Trace Mack's got it teed up. Kearis Jackson waits back deep for Georgia, and here we go. And the Dogs will start at the 25-yard line. As we take a look at the Papa John's lineups. Kenny McIntosh behind Stetson Bennett on the first snap for the Bulldogs. Ladd McConkey in motion. And it is McIntosh in a big opening already. And a first down run, a pickup of 11. Around a lot of different receivers. 20, in fact, have caught a ball this year. Bennett throws on the run and throws a strike complete. Kearis Jackson, first down.
You can see the confidence they have. Stetson Bennett with his athletic ability, being able to come out of the pocket on the run, turns the receiver to the outside. Kearis Jackson does. Easy pitch and catch. So what was it? 1st and 25. They pick up the first down.
Yeah, they got 18 on that one to move the sticks.
The outcomes in this Georgia-Florida sequence, and Florida has really been struggling here on third down.
Bowers was the intended receiver on that last play and well overthrown. Third down and 8. Georgia, a 52% third down team. Bennett scans the field all day to throw, and this one's into coverage as well. Incomplete. And the Gators will get off the field on third down.
And they played man-to-man coverage. Rush 3. Plenty of time for Stetson Bennett to pick out a receiver.
From the 16. Play action. Richardson in trouble already. And he got away from it. And this is what he does so well. Stiff arm and the pickup of about 5, and then a low hit on the sideline. No flag. Gets up limping a little bit, though.
He did. That's right. It was a low hit, and it was close to being a late hit. I think it was by Bullard. Yes.
A weird angle. See if that bothers him. Kind of a strange looking handoff.
He's limping badly. Very badly. Even after the handoff, he was limping badly. Watch Bullard come in at the end of this play. Straight arm. Still had his toe on the grass. That's a clean hit.
Yep. Montrell Johnson in the backfield with Richardson. 4-man rush, Georgia. Richardson throws a little bit low, and that's blown up, incomplete. Zipper, the intended receiver, and Kamari Lassiter let him have it. And to ask you. So we'll keep an eye on him, but so far, so good, I guess. Meanwhile, Georgia's second possession from the 34. Stetson Bennett off the plate fake, throws, and that's a perfect strike to Brock Bowers.
So this 2 tight end formation that everyone in college football is noticing the way to stop him.
Picked up 24 on that one. It's Bowers in motion. First down to the 42. Bennett rolls, throws, Bowers the other way, and another 10 yards or close.
So there's a lot of different ways to call an offense, and one of it you can be multiple formations. The others you can go tendencies from the defense. What do you want to attack? The third way is, as Todd Monken told us, get it to our guys. Get it to our playmakers, and that's what they did in those 2 plays.
This time a loss for Kenny McIntosh of about a yard.
And then you see how the defense adjusts. What will open up from them maybe over-covering Bowers?
Ooh, big collision, McIntosh and Vontrell Miller.
Yeah, Vontrell Miller right there. That's the guy you got to block. If you're going to run the ball against this Florida defense, you've got to block number 51. When you pass it, you got to block number 1, the edge.
Throw out to the other tight end. Big Darnell Washington. and he's a load. They list him at 6'7", 270, and he says, I'm a little bigger than that.
Yeah, so a year ago, he was primarily a blocker. This year, his skills have really shown that they are trusting, even splitting him out to throw the quick hitch, and he gains yards. Doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he is.
Empty backfield. Stetson Bennett getting his troops to move. And now he does have company in the backfield. Quick throw to the outside on a wide receiver screen. All the way to the one is Dylan Bell.
The true freshman, another one of those recruits, Dylan Bell. Because of the injury to Donnie Mitchell, number 5, this guy's going to get some balls, and he's got wheels, doesn't he?
Edwards, touchdown, Georgia.
That was pretty. Started off throwing the ball, but balance. 3 runs, 4 passes, and they knock it into the end zone. 8-play drive. Yes, half of them run, half of them pass. That's the balance that this Georgia offense loves.
Snap here in the 36. Etienne, he just had that kick return, trying to bounce it outside. Maybe got a half a yard. Georgia defensively, they may not have those #1 draft choice type stars, but Jalen Carter is one of those, and he's been hurt since the first snap of the season against Oregon.
Thought we might see him. We got an eye out for him, right?
Yep. Richardson sidearms it over and drop for a loss. Javon Dumas-Johnson, rangy linebacker.
So, of course, everybody knows that follows Georgia. They lost 3 great linebackers to the NFL, but they're awful excited about the guys they got. Dumas-Johnson, and they're all good tacklers, just like the 3 guys that left.
In a 3rd down and 16 situation. And here he comes. Richardson got it to Etienne. The open field, he's not going to get a first down as he got rocked at about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, but the pressure, as you said, from the inside, just, you know, they're 108th in the nation in stopping the run, 185 yards a game. Just 4 years ago, Brad, they were 8th, giving up only 100 yards a game.
I remember that
big
defense,
difference.
big difference.
Yep.
2nd down and 5. They fake the toss sweep and come back the other way. Bowers caught it twice, and he's still running. First down, Georgia. Out to the 45.
I know Brock Bowers is a great athlete.
Last year it was Zamir White and James Cook. Now it's Dejon Edwards again. McIntosh. Edwards still running. Back in now. Kendall Milton, also part of the Georgia rotation, has been injured. Little dinged up. Back down the middle, Darnell Washington still taking Gators with him to the 2-yard line.
This formation, we see it all over professional football. I predict we'll see more and more of it in college football. 2 tight ends. It's like having 7 offensive linemen on the field.
McIntosh will get stopped at the line of scrimmage this time after that 26-yard pickup for Big Darnell Washington.
So you got your 5 offensive linemen, then you bring Washington in at that tight end spot. And then he just goes out, little 8-yard pass, nothing to it. The guy's 6'7", how can you miss him, right?
Group. 2nd and goal at the 2. Kenny McIntosh into the middle of the pile, and into the end zone goes the whole group. Touchdown, Georgia.
So how about this, Ness? Back-to-back drives, 8 plays each. This time a little more heavy run, 5 runs instead of 4 and 4 again, but a little bit of everything. And they know inside, you get the double team, run right at the double team. Van Pran and Ratledge run right at it, and if you need a little push them in.
Down 14. Little toss. Ricky Persoff for about 3. 18 total yards for the Gators so far as we approach 1 minute in the quarter. And hit and drop for a loss. Montrell Johnson and Nolan Smith, who does that pretty frequently.
And Nolan Smith is one of those returning great football players. Going to be a #1 draft pick this year. Reads the mesh point. I don't think they believe right now and Anthony Richardson's going to run the ball. They're playing the running back, not the quarterback.
Their fourth offensive possession of the game. Stetson Bennett going to go deep near sideline. Got it. Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Maybe it's an interception. That's what Florida's saying. I thought Georgia had it.
I thought
right
let's
there.
See, he comes down with it. Before he got down, I think it was ripped away on the play. What a play.
Great defensive play. Concentration. Perez Johnson.
Did he have it before he came down, or was it ripped out? Wow, what a play this is.
That was Jadarius Perkins.
It was.
Pardon.
He's got it. He's got it. Does he come down? Boy, it's close, isn't it?
Dominique Blaylock's the guy that had it in his hands, and I thought it was a catch right there, and then
perfect throw.
A theft.
Great catch. Great steal. What are you going to do with this one, Gene?
Player actually gets
Great
possession
play.
at that point. And a great job by the officials on the field, guys.
What a huge play. And now Richardson in trouble. Got rid of it as he was about to be sacked.
That's going to be intentional grounding, though. He wasn't out of the pocket, and there was nobody there. Ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage. Strong enough to avoid the sack, but I don't think he's going to avoid the intentional grounding on this.
It was Chris Smith that was putting the heat on from the safety blitz.
Yep, there it comes.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 15. The ball in place that was on the foul. Wants it down. Second down.
I get the feeling that Georgia and the Kirby Smart defense, Will Muschamp, one of his coordinators, feels like they've got a wounded quarterback back there.
Yep.
They're going to come after him. And here, both the two tight ends. Another look for this Gator defense.
First down from the 17. Bennett pump fakes one way and lofts it for Washington.
Man.
And he short-armed that one.
Can't throw it any better than that if you're Stetson Bennett, can you?
Already 121 yards through the air. And that one interception that was a swipe at the very end by Ladarius Perkins. Quick slant. And close to a first down. Kearis Jackson might have it.
This game, I mean, he was struggling in the first half of this game. Threw an interception right at the end of the half. 3 minutes to go. They have only 3 points on the board. I can only imagine all the Georgia fans on the message boards. Come on, put in JT. We can't win it with this guy.
Right.
Well, then all of a sudden everything changed. Had that touchdown pass at the end of the half. 3 turnovers. And from there, a national championship quarterback.
And 29 touchdown passes last year. This one's knocked up. Bowers tips it to himself, and he'll score. Touchdown, Georgia. .73 yards.
I thought this one could have been another pick, right?
Yep.
Same thing, the wheel route. The wheel route that was so good to Florida.
Wow. That went off about every body part of both those guys.
Yeah.
Bowers finally got it.
Ness, and if Bernie turns around and uses 2 hands, he can actually easily intercept the ball. He tries to swat it with one, gets a bulldog bounce right to Bowers.
Sure, guys. Richardson throws on the run, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Dante Zanders.
I was just about to say that Georgia got up by 14 points a couple of years ago early in this football game. Kyle Trask came back and beat him, threw for 474. But before I could give the story, it was 21-0. I can't find another story.
You waited one touchdown too long.
Right. One was a kind of a gimme throw. This one was much harder.
Second down and 10. Richardson got away somehow, and he's going to throw it as far as he can. Man out there, double coverage, incomplete, no flags. Justin Shorter was down there. Richardson, I don't think got too much air under that one. And Jalen Carter in there, and he's in a stand-up stance right in the middle of that defensive line. On a stunt coming around the corner, the throw complete, but well short of the first down. And it's going to be another punting situation. And what do you do if you're Florida? Got to get something moving here on offense. Etienne got a couple.
So this offensive line for Florida is the best in the SEC. They've only given up 5 sacks so far coming into this game. 1 so far. But that's with a mobile quarterback. Now let's see how they hold up with a guy who's most likely going to be throwing right in the pocket.
That's where he is right now, and he's going deep, far side. And caught! Beautiful throw and catch to Justin Shorter.
It really was. Keely Ringo that time, number 5, was in perfect phase, but jumped too soon to knock it down. He's there, he jumps, he comes down, he misjudges it. Perfect throw, and Shorter, another big play.
Etienne, as they fake the end around, Etienne went to the left side for a couple.
So that's what you have to attack when you're playing Georgia. Much like the Alabama defense, surprise, Kirby was there and built the defense. They're going to play man-to-man to the outside. Their corners are going to cover you. You have to attack it. You have to go on that one-on-one coverage. That's the play. Back shoulder throws, double moves. Go deep on them 3-4 times a game. Challenge those corners.
Etienne behind Richardson at a pistol set. Pumps, and then he does go out in the flat to that spot. Completes it to Henderson. Henderson brought down at the 43 by Bullard.
Tried to get the fake of the quick screen to the wide receiver and go deep. But watch this Georgia defense. They do not bite.
And with that in mind, they run it here. And it's only a yard gain. Jamon Dumas-Johnson made the stop, and that's 4th down.
That's how you play defense. Those big guys inside. Make piles, bounce it outside. Oh, God, that's Carter in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy cow. He took on his 2 people, bounced it out wide, and that's why everybody's saying he might be the first defensive tackle drafted coming up in this next draft. Jeez. They're going to throw some more. Huge stop by this Florida defense. Can they get out of the half? They didn't get out of the half last year.
Bennett stops and fires in and out of the hands of McConkey.
Holy cow, 2nd big drop. I don't think it was tipped. McConkey slows down, turns around and drops it.
Hit him right between the 8 and the 4.
Jeez. Oh, yeah. No complaining. You got a gift the last one, right?
Yeah, that's right. It all evens out. Bowers is the guy that's had the big day so far. Second down and 10. Kenny McIntosh moves up to the side of Stetson Bennett, takes a handoff, and McIntosh had a little head of steam going, and then Vontrell Miller slowed him down.
But if it's a quarterback sneak, look for the push from behind.
Long conversation going on at Georgia huddle right now. They're perfect on 4th down conversions. They come up to the line quickly, moving McIntosh.
No, they're not gonna.
And now they move Bowers. They're moving everybody, but Florida's not giving in.
Oh,
Bennett, first down.
It was a gamble, and Kirby won it. More power to him. Florida thought they were out of it. They had the punt team out, then another look, then a replay, and they decided to go for it. Nice design here. They run up.
Sugar huddle. And
then you say, are they going to go for it? Oh, no, they're going to try to draw us off. This is just the design. We got Danielson bad on this.
John Edwards in the Georgia backfield has one of their touchdowns today. They'll send him in motion. Bennett goes short to Darnell Washington. Might be a first down and very close.
A little motion that time completely vacated the middle of the field. Easy, like warm-ups. That was going to be a rib shot if he moved it
exactly.
Third down.
And 10 to go from the 49.
Remember Florida? Can they get the stop on third down?
Bennett throws. Almost a one-handed catch by Rosamie Jack Saint. Just can't quite hang on to it. He laid out, got one paw on it. Good. Any kind of points here in the next 2 minutes would be a nice way to head to the locker room. Whoop! Almost dropped. Henderson. And he's going to take a loss on this one. It's just a little push pass.
His yards was in one pass.
Now they keep it on the ground. Only going to be 2 or 3.
Kirby
Johnson.
Kirby will take it now. Absolutely. The way they've controlled third down in this game.
Ricky Pearsall in motion, settles in to the slot. Richardson has to scramble this time. Pocket collapsed in a hurry. And again, he takes a shot late at the sideline. And he won't get the first down.
And he also went out of bounds, so Georgia does not have to use another timeout. You have to imagine with that injury, that shot that Anthony Richardson took early, 20 to 25% of the Florida offense went down the drain. All those run calls and his scrambles, they just don't have it now because of he's less than 100%. Admire the way he's playing, but they don't have the same game plan.
So Stetson Bennett, who had a big first half already, looking for more. Double pumps, throws, completes. And it's first down and out of bounds to Dylan Bell.
Boy, that's a gamble throw right there. You know you got confidence when you let that one ring to the outside. Brenton Cox, number 1, is standing right there. He just rips it right by him. Cox puts his hands on his head like, oh, geez, I can't believe I didn't get it. Threw a fastball right by him.
That wasn't a first down, a yard short.
That's that gunslinger side of Stetson Bennett that comes out all the times, right?
There's no doubt about that. McIntosh, there's another quick throw to McConkey. He's got the first down. He's got it right about to the field goal line. Still 50 seconds and 2 timeouts for Georgia.
Yeah, Troy Dean got a top tackle that time, or he might have been off and running. Remember? Let's see if they dial up that blitz again.
They're in Podlesny's range right now. Third down and 10. Bennett loads, fires, back shoulder to McConkey at the 10. Flags are down. He's inside the 10.
I think it's going to be on McConkey this time. Shoves the defender right by with his left hand. Marshall's in phase, kind of gives him a push.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3.
Wow.
That penalty is declined. Resolve the play.
I was with you all the way on that one.
Really?
Yeah. That's shocking.
6-7 matchup here to the top.
And Bowers, the other tight end in the slot. Bennett, slant, McConkey, touchdown.
Well, as we talk about who he could throw to, Stetson Bennett gets to choose who he wants to throw to. He uses the tight end here. The tight end here brings him underneath for the easy play. Kirby's going to call timeout. His defense. Oh!
Whoa!
Yep, it's going to be first down.
That's going to be first down now.
So the whistle came late. Some players kept playing. And first down, Gators on a timeout.
And here's Alexander. Didn't hear the whistle and tried to back off.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 99. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So think about it. Georgia's only got 7 sacks all year, okay? And this guy, I got one. You know, the whistle.
No, I don't have one.
Right.
Richardson's going to feel that one, too. They're asking him if he's all right on the sideline. He's smiling, so that's a good sign. Richardson looking for a block. Got to the edge and got a first down. Tough run. Anthony Richardson. So Florida's got more going on this drive than they had the whole first half.
Well, and they've got a quarterback that's willing to run again, or the play's being called. He's pulling it. I don't know if it's a read or not, but he takes it and then gets out of one tackle and accepts another tackle. It was Bullard again who hit him at the end. He's the one who started this whole thing.
Clock winding down, the play clock down to 2. Just got it off. Etienne got the corner, first down.
He sure did, didn't he? Travis Etienne, the true freshman running back, returns kickoffs. You can see his speed get to the corner this time. Misjudged by that Georgia secondary that time. He gets there and makes it.
I'm glad you said Travis and I didn't.
Oh, did I do
Trevor.
it the wrong way?
Yeah.
Well, same stadium, right?
Travis, his brother, plays for the Jaguars. Giving up a touchdown in the third quarter all year. That might change right here. It does. Etienne, touchdown, Florida.
You always love when a team, everybody out here, all the Florida fans, everybody's talking about how can this happen, 28-3. But the players on the field go in at halftime and say, you know what, we're going to come out and figure out a way to score some points and make it a game.
So now let's see what Stetson Bennett and Bowers, who's in motion, can do for Georgia here. Their opening possession of the third quarter. McIntosh. And the ball came out. Still squirting around. Florida's got it. Brenton Cox, I think. Or Trey Dean.
I think Bernie, number 2, who batted the pass for a touchdown, actually comes from behind and rips it here. Watch him come from behind and rip the ball out. So he's 1 for 2. 1 bat to Bowers and 1 forced fumble for the Gators.
McClendon had a shot at it, the right tackle. Georgia's defense bulks up and stops the run right there for no gain. Richardson in the shotgun, set to throw. Looking left the whole way, goes out in the flat, complete. And that's Dante Zanders, his tight end. It's going to bring up third down.
Yes, watch Osiris Torrance, number 54, back playing for Florida, missed a week ago. Watch him handle the stunt inside. Pushes off, then he peeks and finds the next blitzer, allows the quarterback to get rid of the football. That is great offensive guard play. He's having a great season for Florida is. Another one of those transfers from Louisiana.
Yep. Third down at 6. Johnson broke a tackle, got a first down, and then some.
So how about that? You go transfer to transfer. Louisiana's offense is moving the ball right now.
It is.
Does his job.
First and goal at the first and 10 at the 12. Richardson with a run, and he backpedals for 2 or 3.
Again, this Florida offense, when you establish the quarterback as a weapon, opens up everything else.
To the right side, that's where Johnson's lined up next to Richardson. It'll be Johnson trying to weave his way and going nowhere. Line of scrimmage, that's it.
Now the score looks bad, but a field goal here makes it a 2-score game. We get it down to 15.
McConkey in motion for Georgia. McIntosh on the carry, trying to make up for the fumble and runs out for 12 or 13 and a first down.
Well, they've been running to the right side most of the game, but this time they go left behind Truss and Broderick Jones to the left side of the line. It's in that physicalness of that Georgia line.
They'll run it again to the left side. McIntosh broke another tackle, a stiff arm, and he goes for about 17 more.
Really love that they've gone back to McIntosh on this too. You know, he's their best athlete now. He's their best receiver as a running back. Get him back in the game.
Stetson Bennett under center. with the play fake. And a deep ball, and it's intercepted. Picked off. Amari Burney, who almost had one earlier, and now he's got one. There's a flag down.
So Georgia tried to go wheel route, and if that sounds familiar, that was 2 years ago. Kyle Trask burned Georgia with the wheel route, but this time Burney has a great coverage, and it's one Stetson Bennett should not have thrown. Not even tried to throw this one. First down call, you got the lead, drop it off, get it to be 2nd and 3, even if you scramble for a couple of yards. Receiver cuts inside and you make a dangerous throw and you pay for it.
It's a long conversation among the officials here. And here's the call. Well, we're still going to wait a bit.
Yeah, they're deciding if they should pick up the flag or not right now. Was it late enough? They're calling a late hit, I think, and they don't know.
The result of the play is an interception by the defense. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, intercepting team number 22. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Rashad Torrance is going to be called for the penalty, so it's going to still be Florida ball. 3rd down and 6. Georgia trying to get a stop and avoid any more Florida points off that turnover. Richardson all day and rifles it down the sideline. This is Xavier Henderson, and he is gone. Touchdown, Florida, 78 yards.
So there might have been some Florida fans that left, but the Florida football team didn't leave.
No, they didn't.
He really has, but the 2 turnovers, 2 drives, 2 turnovers for Georgia.
One of them was a fumble by this guy, McIntosh, and he blasts his way for another 11 yards and a first down. So in this half, Georgia's first drive was 1 play to McIntosh and a fumble against Utah in week 1. 2nd down and 12. Bennett hasn't thrown since that last interception. Fires this one and caught. Boy, that was a tight window. Rosamie Jack Saint on the receiving end.
Well, remember 2 years ago, Jack Saint broke his leg on a touchdown play. He caught it, he cradled it. Look at Georgia's going to go quick, try to keep the replay official from stopping it.
Edwards got the corner. Dejon Edwards, a little stutter step before he's pushed out of bounds. So a 19-yard pickup to Rosamie Jack Saint, and then a big run by Edwards, and Georgia's got it moving down the field in the backfield. They'll give it to him again. And again he comes through and he'll score. Touchdown, Georgia. Blasting off the right side, and the Dawgs with a 22-yard touchdown by Edwards.
Well, watch Xavier Truss and Brock Bowers run the counter this time. Left guard and H-back number 19 does more than just catch passes. Watch this, kick out, and Bowers comes around. The old counter, watch it. Kick out by Truss. 19 gets up in the hole, another good block. Beautifully done. You pick him up, find him, and cover him.
Pick up a 20. Now back to Johnson for 2 or 3. That might bring the 3rd quarter to a close. So Florida with a big 3rd quarter to get back in the game. Even though they still trail by a couple of scores. A lot of football left. End of 3. Georgia 35. Florida 20. 4th quarter is coming up.
Stetson Bennett's throwing an interception.
4th and 6. If we give Georgia a short field, if they can get a stop. And they almost had Richardson, and now they do. He throws it away.
Yeah,
they bring him down, and Georgia takes over.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sorry. You got Georgia with 2 turnovers in the 3rd quarter.
The ball back beyond the line of scrimmage.
Stetson Bennett has thrown 1 pass since then. He completed it across the middle. I'm like punting it and saying, let's see if he can do it again.
Right. Side of 48. Ranson Robinson in the Georgia backfield. McConkey on an end around. Brad McConkey, Bowers trying to get a block for him out there, and he got a piece of one at least. Florida's front with a shift defensively. They're going to bring an extra man. McConkey, wide out screen. Got a block that time from Bowers. First down, Georgia.
Yeah, both of the tight ends that time. Again, Washington gets the first block.
In a bowl game a couple years ago.
So Billy Napier gambles. If he gets away with this with no points, it's going to be an amazing gamble for him.
Well, Georgia's perfect on fourth down this year. Let's see if they've got another one in them. Fourth down and 7.
All man-to-man coverage.
McConkey in motion. Blitz coming off the edge. Flags are down. Might be a free play. Bowers has got it to the 4-yard line. Gamble pays off.
He does, again, shows his ball skills as he turns for the ball. Remember, his eyes will be moving as he turns to the outside. It was a free play like Ness said. Back shoulder, a spinner, and our athlete was better than their athlete. If you're Georgia on that call.
Bowers just keeps adding to his huge day. Gets it to the 4-yard line. First and goal. Both tight ends shift over from left to right. Darnell Washington the inside of the 2. Bowers the outside. Kenny McIntosh in the backfield with Stetson Bennett. He'll get the carry. And he'll get the touchdown. Wouldn't give up.
Well, he wouldn't give it up. And Broderick Jones, number 59, did not give up either. He blocked, and then watch at the end when he shoves him in.
Sacks for Georgia, but they affect the quarterback, and they have been collapsing that pocket. Pretty soon they're going to get to Richardson if he takes too long to throw. They're coming again. He has to flush out of the pocket. And this time he'll turn the wheels on. And first down. First down. Sidearm throw out. Complete to Burke. Another first down for Florida.
Yeah, good read that time. Numbers. Only one defender, 2 receivers to the outside. This is just an all-out quarterback. I'm going to throw it to you. Misalignment by this Georgia defense.
And they've given up 20 to Florida, and the Gators are driving again. ETN blasts through a hole. And another first down.
Well, again, Torrance, number 54. Watch his action. Come off one block and then get inside on the linebacker, number 10.
First down, Florida. They'll give it to him again. This time a loss on the play.
Well, Stackhouse got one there and he didn't have to run very far.
All 3 wide outs to the left side of Richardson. Here comes a full blitz from the Dawgs. He got away and lobs one. Jump ball, caught, intercepted. Touchback. Georgia's got it back. Malachi Starks.
And Malachi Starks got beat for a touchdown, but on that one, Anthony Richardson did exactly what he had to. A free safety blitz. Nowhere to go. Save it, throw it up. Maybe your guy can make a play. Fourth down throw, and Starks comes back and gets it. I don't know if it came down or not. Did the ball hit the ground? No matter. It did.
Oh,
it's not going to be an interception. Either way,
Georgia's taking over.
You got it. Fourth down play. Again, in this game, this Georgia defense, and it's been the story in the Florida-Georgia game the last 3 years. 4 for 15 the Gators are on third down.
And you see Anthony Richardson working on his own right knee over there on the sideline. And Stetson Bennett and the Georgia offense comes back on the field. And they'll take over at the 15-yard line. Since this game a couple of years ago, stranger things have happened. A coaching change on one side, a national championship on the other.
Absolutely. And, when we were in this game a year ago, even through the first half, 3-0, I'm thinking, would anybody be thinking that Dan Mullen would be the coach the next year? And then all of a sudden it just went the opposite direction. And Anthony Richardson got popped again. This time the same leg. But I'd say we want to keep the clock moving. We want first downs. Let's not let the other team back on the field.
And their number 3 tailback's got fresh legs. Rumbling his way out across the 30. Branson Robinson. That was very close.
Signing day. Billy Napier had him committed. Signing day, thought they had his signature on in the last second. Kirby Smart.
Billy said, I went to bed that night, thought I had my quarterback, woke up the next morning and realized Kirby Smart had made a phone call to Stetson Bennett, and that was that.
Yeah. And I go, Billy, did you tell him you'll never play there? And he goes, I used all my skills I had, but I'm not going to say what I told him.
And we said, did Stetson make that call? He said, absolutely. The kid's so classy, he wouldn't have left me hanging. He made a call and said, Coach, my dream has come true. I got an offer from Georgia, and the rest is history.
Well, think about the task and the challenge that Stetson Bennett chose. He knows he's going to be competing against 5-star quarterbacks. Jake Fromm still had another year. Justin Fields had just transferred, but you know, another one's coming over the horizon. Right. Another 5-star coming right behind you.
And Bennett will set up in the shotgun, put Robinson to his right. Brock Bowers in motion, and it gives it off to Robinson anyway. He's just trying to find a way to backpedal for about 5 yards.
What a play. Now, I know they got help from the pass interference call, but this is mission accomplished for this drive for Georgia right here. They're going to at least, they've got, what, almost a 7-minute drive.
Like you said, that's how you put people away when you have to. Great balance, keeps his hand down, just keeps churning, and then starts backpedaling.
Okay, this guy's going to be good.
I think so.
A couple of years.
I think he's pretty good right now.
We might not be here in 2 years, but he will be. It's no longer a ghost. It's Tennessee. They're going to show up. Then you'll be right in front of you. No hiding for Tennessee anymore.
And they've got Kentucky tonight, and they've got these guys in Athens next week, and that's where we'll be. Now, Georgia's converted on 4th down and 1. Quarterback sneak. And 4th down and 7, a 29-yard pass. 2 for 2 today, 8 for 8 on the year. 4th down and 3 here. Stetson Bennett, and completes it to Big Darnell Washington, who dropped the ball, and they're going to call it incomplete.
Yep, they are. Could have finished the game, and you know that was the whole dialogue during the timeout. Let's finish this game on the field. Perfect play call, got who you want. Stetson delivers it, catches it.
Just didn't have it long enough, I guess.
Well, I don't. Did it not? 1, 2, spins.
I thought he fumbled and they were. Jalen Carter in the middle of that group on the Georgia sideline, able to play today. That's great news for the Georgia defense. Richardson again. Sort of lofts it and got it complete. Same play, just about. And Xavier Henderson with the catch.
This time threw it short. Xavier Henderson, yep, left foot comes down. It's all you need is 1.
Pick up of 35. Florida not done yet. Georgia's defense trying to close this out, but Richardson's making it hard on them. And now they close it out. There's the sack they've been waiting for. And it's Michael Williams.
Yeah, Florida's going to take a timeout, but this time the help had to go outside of Chambliss and then inside beat. They got the nickel pass rush group in there that time, and they get one.
Kirby Smart still directing traffic over there for that defense. As Richardson drops to throw. Pressure coming again. Down he goes again. Now they're putting Chambliss, who got close on the last play.
He did. Yes, he
got
did.
it. He got home this time. 3rd down and 26. Richardson. And now he's going to try to run with it. Get what he can and get out of bounds at the 25. It'll be 4th down. Worst start for Florida since they started 0-5 in 1979.
And just, what, 2 years ago, they had a chance to beat Alabama, and Kyle Trask right down there at the end of the game.
Yep. Lots changed since then.
Yep.
So might be the final snap here for the Gators on 4th down and 17. Richardson has to throw it away. That's the ball game.
Well, I'm going to give the Gators a lot of credit. I mean, it's 28-3. A lot of fans that really don't understand sports go, why are we even playing? Who cares? Turn it off. But when you're lining up and you're playing and you have pride being with your buddies, they fought the second half. I give them a lot of credit. That's a good thing for the future, a good sign that Billy Napier has a lot of guys that are willing to fight. He just needs better players.
Yep. Well, it's going to be Georgia's 5th win in the last 6 outings in this series. An 8-0 for the 10th time in school history. 3rd time in the last 6 years. Victory formation for Stetson Bennett. And Georgia 8-0, 5-0 in conference play. Tennessee's next.